has happened over the past 24 hours in the United Arab Emirates is absolutely mind-blowing. A freak storm of unprecedented force has brought two of the country's biggest cities, Dubai and Sharjah, to their knees. Torrential rain, deafening thunder, and violent gusts of wind slammed into these megacities with zero warning, turning their gleaming streets into full-blown disaster zones in a matter of hours. Lightning was ripping across the sky non-stop, and the wall of water coming down was so thick that visibility dropped to practically nothing. Roads, highways, residential neighborhoods, everything was swallowed up by murky, raging floodwater. The city ground to a halt completely. Traffic collapse was total. Authorities rushed out emergency alerts, telling residents to stay indoors, do not attempt to drive, stay away from flooded areas. But for thousands of people, those warnings came way too late.
International city. अंदर जाओ
All through the night and into the early morning, thunder never let up over Dubai and Sharjah, and waves of rain kept rolling in one after another with not a single minute of relief. At major intersections, highway junctions, and low-lying neighborhoods, water rose to critical levels, in some spots above waist height on a grown adult. The drainage systems that UAE officials were so proud of gave out within the first few hours. The sewers choked. Water surged into places it was never supposed to reach. Underground parking garages, ground floors of shopping malls, lobbies of residential towers. Pumps are running at full capacity, but physically, they just cannot keep up with this kind of volume.
يستاهل شباب يستاهل
Thousands of residents ended up locked inside their own homes with no way out and nowhere to go. Plans, meetings, flights, all canceled. A city built on luxury and predictability turned out to be completely helpless against the forces of nature. Meteorologists are stunned. They say a system this powerful is not just rare for the region, it is genuinely extraordinary. A massive volume of atmospheric moisture collided with unstable air masses and created the perfect conditions for disaster, extreme rainfall, hurricane-force wind gusts, and thunderstorm activity the UAE has not seen in years. The risk of flash flooding shot up to the maximum. In a densely built urban environment, water accumulates in seconds, and infrastructure simply cannot take the hit. The biggest highways in Dubai and Sharjah are standing in water. Traffic is either completely paralyzed or barely crawling. Road visibility is at a minimum. Authorities are being forced to shut down entire stretches of highway. But the hardest blow landed on air travel. Sharjah Airport has effectively been shut down. Dozens of flights have been delayed or rescheduled, and the timetable is falling apart in real time. Thousands of passengers are stuck in terminals with no idea when or how they are going to get out. Airlines are scrambling to rework their schedules, but the weather is calling the shots.
Location കാണുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ മനസ്സിലായിട്ടുണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ. നാഷണൽ പെയിന്റ് ഷെയ്ഖ് സായിദ് റോഡിന്റെ അവസ്ഥ. ഷോപ്പിന്റെ അവസ്ഥ നോക്കിക്കോ. ഒന്നുമില്ല, കാലി. ഗ്ലാസും പോയി, സിസ്റ്റം എല്ലാം വെള്ളത്തിൽ പോയി കളിക്കുന്നതന്നെ. ഇപ്പൊ എടുത്തിട്ട് വെച്ചത് ഡമ്മി ഒന്നുമില്ല. ഡമ്മി കാണിച്ചു തരാം. ഡമ്മി അവിടെയെന്ന് അറിയുള്ളത്. ഡമ്മിൻ്റെ ഒരു കാല് കണ്ട ആടെ വീങ്ങി കിടക്കുന്നത്. അതേപോലെ സ്റ്റാൻഡ്, പിന്നെ കുറേ സാധനമെല്ലാം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, എല്ലാം പോയി. ഇല്ല ഏകദേശം എല്ലാ ഷോപ്പിന്റെ അവസ്ഥ തന്നെ.
Every available emergency crew has been deployed to the streets. Rescuers are pulling people out of flooded cars, clearing blocked roads, and evacuating residents from danger zones. Floodwater is rising fast and unpredictably. Even a stream that looks shallow can flip a car or knock a person off their feet. Areas with strong current and zero visibility are especially deadly. The economies of both cities are taking massive losses right now. Delivery services have shut down. Shopping malls, restaurants, offices, everything is either closed or running on emergency mode. Wind and rain are hammering the cities with such fury that being outside is genuinely life-threatening. Drivers who risked going out are finding themselves trapped, cars stalling in the middle of flooded streets, people abandoning their vehicles and trying to wade out on foot through waist-deep water. And here is the most alarming part. This is not over yet. New waves of heavy rain and thunderstorm activity could slam the region in the coming hours. But the storm system keeps feeding on moisture and building strength. Areas that have already taken a beating are at risk of flooding all over again, and this time the consequences could be even worse. For a desert nation where annual rainfall amounts to just a few dozen millimeters, a storm like this is almost beyond imagination. UAE infrastructure, built for scorching sun and bone-dry climate, turned out to be completely unprepared for a water apocalypse. A city designed for heat is drowning.
City center Sharjah.
Authorities are watching the most vulnerable spots, underpasses, tunnels, low-lying roads. That is where critical volumes of water are pooling, and that is where the risk of losing lives is highest. Emergency crews are working non-stop, but new problem areas are popping up faster than rescuers can respond. The situation is changing minute by minute. In some areas, the water is starting to recede, but in neighboring districts, things are only getting worse. Emergency services are running on fumes, working 24/7, trying to bring these cities back to anything resembling normal. But as long as this monstrous storm system is hanging over the UAE, there is no such thing as calm. Dubai and Sharjah are holding on, but the storm is not done yet.